Okay, we're live. Hey, everybody. Good morning. My name's Eric Simmons. I'm the CEO of WorkWolf, and our printer didn't work this morning, so I'm going to be reading from a laptop for a little bit of this, but not for a lot. So I think we'll get into a good conversation shortly thereafter. So I'd like to welcome our guests today to WorkWolf's fourth podcast. I've got Klara and Karen. From, is it Situra or Situra?
Situra.
Situra?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're here to talk to us about a super hot topic, which is the 4-day work week. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So the first thing, the heart of the question really is two things that are big and impactful when it comes to organizations is how effective are the people in the organization and employee satisfaction. So productivity and employee satisfaction. Maybe Klara, you could tell me a little bit about productivity first, because I'm sure the employees are happy with 4-day work week, but who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. No, really good question. Productivity, I think, is one of the first things people think of when they think of a 4-day work week. How is it possible that you get enough things done in less time? Mm-hmm. And from our perspective and from what I've seen happen with our employees, productivity is actually improved. Mm-hmm. Efficiency has improved. And there's a few factors I think that have to do with that. One of them is people anticipate a shorter week. They anticipate their schedule better. They're more aware of what needs to be done. They're almost in better control of their schedule and deliverables. So from that perspective, productivity for us, we've seen improve and increase, I would say.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings up a whole bunch of other questions. Yeah. So I'm a data-driven guy owning a tech company. So, my first question is, how are you guys measuring productivity? And how long have you had this implemented for? Because from my understanding, Situra was one of the first companies to kind of pioneer this in Canada. So how long has it been going for?
As far as we know, yeah. I don't know the the data, but it's been going on since we started this April of last year. We started with a 3-month trial to see how our employees would like it. What would be the feedback, what would be the response, and so we've stayed with it since. So however many months that is. 7. So thank you. This is why we have a controller. She knows numbers. And we measure productivity. We are a very niche market. We have a custom solution, and our productivity is measured by the deliverables to our clients. So we have very tight timelines. We have turnkey solutions. So we need to turn things around fast, and we're really good at that. So our productivity at the end of the day is measured by how happy our customers are. We're in the construction business. So if we don't deliver something on time, there is, a multi-million-dollar building not being built.
Yeah.
So we can't do that. We have to have things on site and ready to go, and they need to be there. And our productivity in that sense, in the deliverables, hasn't been a blip.
Okay. So as good as always, better, little bit less, even a smidge
I would
less.
say better. Yeah.
So then we're getting to the kind of the finite piece of business, which is, increased revenue, profitability, all those you would be able to.
We've actually seen about a 20% increase in revenue.
Okay.
Again, as Klara said, we've only been doing it for 7 months.
Yeah.
So after a year, we plan to revisit and analyze it to see how things are working. During this time, we've actually been during the time, like this whole 7 months, we've been able to implement and execute successful process innovations. For one, we've actually built a virtual studio. So now what's happening, we use it for product installation. It's real time. It's a real time virtual studio. So we've been able to do product training and also show our installation. And So from that standpoint, that's great, because what also is happening, our customers are actually satisfied because we've taken online learning to a new level. Situra has taken it to a new level. So in our virtual studio, our customers can see how to install our product. For years, we've sent workmen around the world to show how to install a product. The upside is now our customers have real-time access to all the resources at Situra. Also, it means our travel budget has been cut significantly. And because it's cut significantly, one, and two, we're actually looking to maintain sustainable practices. So for instance, now we're both powered with 100% renewable energy. So those are some of the savings we've seen since doing this.
Wow. So I figured that with the 4-day work week that people would still be putting in the same number of hours per week. But are you telling me that people are only putting in 4 times 8?
That's right. Yes, it's an 8-hour work day.
Oh my.
We are not, when we were looking at implementing the 4-day work week, and I looked at some of the studies that of where it's been done before in places like New Zealand and I think Portugal or Spain, I think it was. But I was looking at some stats and research on when it was effective. And for us, it just made most sense to maintain an 8-hour work week, just not to compact and kind of crush the hours into less days.
Right. So yeah, I'd never even heard of that as an option. So you've done some research. So what did those studies show? What did it look like? Was there a significant difference between, let's say, 4 10-hour days versus 4 8-hour days?
Yeah. Don't quote me on this. This was a while back. But there was statistics to show, research to show that, and again, depending on the industry. So it's hard to answer these questions in, big terms to say like this is always the case or this is, for everybody, this should be the same. But for, again, our case and the amount of people that we have in our environment, compacting 40 hours into 4 days and making it 10-hour work days, for instance, to us appeared that it would actually increase stress, drive more pressure onto people. And the goal for us wasn't to do that. It was to provide better work-life balance. It was to alleviate stress, improve mental health, right? Give something back to the employees, not to give them more work and less time.
Just try and package something that's...
And I just want to jump in to say also what you find once the productivity increases and the efficiency and the process innovation, the employees are all buying into the choice architecture and the nudge factor. Is it, should we work 5 days or should we work 4 days? So once you have that, then the urge is there, right? Because they have the nudge factor. They want to do this. Right?
So that's by providing that flexibility, you get greater commitment to the organization. You
Definitely.
Think? Okay. Very good. So I've got my team reading kind of the Netflix playbook, and they're all about, they don't say empower your personnel or your team, but they say everybody has the power already, right? You just have to kind of give them, don't bury them with management and process, and kind of let them shine or create that infrastructure to do so. So it sounds like there's a lot of synergies here between that thinking and what some of the most successful companies in the world like Netflix are doing as well.
Absolutely. And we've always been an innovative company. We've always had an innovative product. There's nobody that does what we do in our industry in terms of the technical side of things and the solution that we provide. And that's we want to translate that innovation and that moving forward to all aspects of our business, including our employees. So, having that, I think bringing best practices is, it's been part of that.
So you had mentioned that this, more questions from the audience. Thank you. Okay, so I'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to ask one question around, this might not be applicable to every business. So before I ask you kind of where this would be applicable or where you think it would be applicable, maybe give me some more kind of context in terms of your business. It's a construction industry. How long have you been around? How many people are in the business, et cetera?
Absolutely. So we are in the construction industry. We service the construction industry. Specifically, we're in the building envelope space. So the exterior of a building. And we manufacture waterproof expansion joints. So for the construction people out there, they might know what that
is. So it's a manufacturing business. So are people actually is it a plant environment manufacturing? Are they working with their hands? Is it a physical job?
It is a physical job. It's a fabrication shop where we custom make our joints. And again, servicing the construction industry. So we're within that space. We have right now 18 employees. So in different places. And we have been around. We just celebrated an anniversary, and it was
25 years.
Yes, 25 years.
That's a big one.
In the around the sun, I think was our official motto, which was great.
Very cool. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, so now why don't we take that question from the viewers? Right. So, are your team members on salary?
Yes, they are.
They are.
Yes, they are.
And are there any hourly staff?
Not at the moment, no.
So they're all on salary. Very cool. So basically you're compensating people the same amount for 1/5 less work time.
Yes. But they're being more efficient, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I really like that, how you positioned it initially is that people know they have to do more within that time. Like how much time would you say previously was wasted during their workday? Have we just kind of cut out that waste in terms of this, or have we added some other layer of efficiency that's novel?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everybody works differently. So for me to say, Ginny has been, 25% more productive, and where we've all been consistently, 25%. I haven't looked at those stats for a full year-to-year comparison. But I think people in general, there is, think about your own workday. How often are you, just kind of swiveling in your chair, look at Instagram quickly, or maybe you take an extra, go chat with your colleague because it's like, this can wait. I don't really, it's not pressing or whatever the day is. And it's just shortened.
It's shortened. It's still there, but it's shortened.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Because there's still time to have a coffee.
And we're very big on that culture. So we don't, you don't come in and it's like, okay, we'll drill down and you're not leaving here until it's done because then you have a day off. It's, we're very socially focused. Like we make sure that people are together certain times of the week that they can collaborate. Then we have our, company lunches and we celebrate successes and, have our awards for recognition, all these things. So we still support company culture.
But people are just more conscious that we have to be efficient and productivity has to remain at that level. Plus, we're very diverse. So gives us an opportunity to, as Klara said, celebrate those successes when necessary.
So how does it work in terms of the day of the week that people get? So, and I'm also curious, the second part that I'm really interested in is, what brought this about in the whole, so let's start with that question, just how it came about. And then how did you decide which day was the day for which employee?
Yeah, good question. That was fun for me. So it came about, inevitably, COVID changed the way that our industry operates, the way that people work. It kind of made us all stop and think like, okay, now what? And we were all forced or had options to work from home. So we were remote for a long time, especially during those lockdowns. And I think we and our owner and the company owner and president, we wanted to make sure that our employees were taking care of their mental health, that they had work-life balance. That it was a lot. It was a lot that these past 2 years now?
18 months, almost 2 years.
So that's where the idea, I think, came. We wanted to do something to give people a little bit of a break, a little bit of a balance. And it was a good time to do it as well because we were already sort of working remote and we were, things were changing. So we said, okay, let's look at this. Let's consider this now. Does this work now?
Mhm.
If not now, when?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So we just saw an opportunity as opposed to, being bogged down in the uncontrollable circumstances of COVID. I think we just took it as an opportunity. So that's where it started.
Mhm.
And the second part of your question was?
That's a good question. So, do we have questions from the audience? Yeah. Okay, that's what it was, which was how do we get to the day of
Yes,
work?
Yes.
Are the employees able to pick which day they want, etc.? But before we go there, I do want to ask, you and your president. So was this an initiative that you actually took on behalf of the company? Did the president come to you? How did? Because that says a lot about the culture, right?
Yeah, he came up with it. He
Mhm.
came up with as an idea, and he said, "What do you think about this?" And I
Mhm.
said, "Oh, okay, interesting."
Mhm.
And I think he talked to a few, people just casually. I was like, "Oh, I've heard about this 4-day work week."
Mhm.
And I said, "Okay, well, let me look at it, and let's look at how we would do it." And he said, "Okay, see how you would do it." And then we got from there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now about the selection of the day. How do you? Maybe you could share with me kind of how you get they choose what day.
Well, there was consultation as to which day you would prefer.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a team, we decided that, okay, the admin team is off on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And I'm part of that team. The production team is off on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the technical staff
Technical
and
sales.
sales.
Yeah. So the focus for me was how do we make sure that our clients still have accessibility to everybody?
That was going to
So
be
we are not
yeah.
closed down at any
Right.
point.
Yeah.
Situra doesn't shut down on a Friday because we have a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Everything still works the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our key focus again because we have those deliverables.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take a look at our people and our departments and kind of the teams, like I said, and say, okay, I have to make sure that there's somebody from the team available at each point of the week.
Every day.
So it sort of became, I created a schedule and it's a set schedule so somebody got a Monday, somebody got a Wednesday, somebody got a Friday. And that way Tuesdays and Thursdays, we know everybody's in.
Yep.
Everybody. So if we need to have those, meetings.
But it's also flexible because there are days when I would like a Monday off. So I would work the Monday instead of the Wednesday. And so there is flexibility
case
with that.
by case,
Yes, it depends. Yes.
Thus far, it sounds like there's very little downside to this move. How much planning and consultation did it take for you to get where it's like, okay, guys, like Monday, we're going live with the 4-day work week? So how long was it between kind of your research where you had done kind of your, I guess, figuring out, what models were out there, what you were going to follow, figuring out what was best for your company. Once that's done, then you actually have to kind of get to how do I implement this into my business? So how long was that section of was it a couple months, a couple weeks? Or?
Yeah, I'd say it was a couple of months. I just kind of looking into because, other things are going on at the same time, with the day job. But it was just looking into research and talking to our management and looking at our needs. And then it was, I want to say maybe 2
thinking 2 to 3 months, yes.
That's a way of talking about it. And then before everything was sort of set up in a way that I was ready to say, okay, guys, this is what we're doing now.
So in a sec, just such an interesting topic, right? What are the risks associated with taking this change on?
I think with any change, risks are that not everybody's going to buy into it. I think some of the risks are that not everybody's going to like it.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Any other risks? What about to the business, right? And I know, of course, employee satisfaction is a risk, but was there any thoughts from president or controller in terms of what if this potentially decreases our revenue or output? I mean, any risks to that?
No,
No,
because there's zero setback, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's on board and working as a team. So definitely.
Yeah. I think, initially the question was, will people have enough time to do what they need to do
Mhm.
But that's why we had a 3-month trial.
Got
And,
it.
and then I said,
Got
provide me
it.
feedback,
Mhm.
check in. I was checking in with people
Yeah.
all the time. So
Okay.
um,
Was that a long enough period of time, 3 months? Could you have shortened it to 2? Did you get everything you
no, I
required
think you
in
need
3?
at least a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as long as we found that we still are at 100% capacity and always available.
Okay.
So as long as that was happening,
Mhm.
we're good.
Great. Okay. So we've got lots of questions from the audience now. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. So yeah, stat holidays. How do you manage stat holidays and vacation accruals? Are those the same?
Very good question.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you want to answer this one?
If there's a stat holiday,
Mhm.
everyone would work the 4-day work week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the same.
So the same, everyone would be in schedule for the rest of the week. So
Okay.
we're still working 4 days.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Your vacation, you still apply for vacation,
Yeah.
and then it's the number of days. If you want 4 days, we count it as 4 days. Yes.
I see. Okay. So I'm very interested in this because you guys, I know you guys are hiring. We're hiring. There's a lot of people out there hiring. How has this affected your talent attraction strategy? Are you guys promoting this? When people find out about it, have there been more people coming to want to work with you? What's the story there?
Yeah. We're always looking for, fresh new talent. We love working with talented, civil engineers and technical professionals because we're an innovative business and building envelope industry is very niche. And I would say up and coming, and there's more and more development in this space. So we love to recruit new talent. We are a small team, so we do kind of have few spots, opportunities available, but there's always development and things come up. So and yes, it has. I think once people learn that we do have the 4-day work week and that flexibility, they are intrigued by it. I do think it's an attractive factor because again, greater work-life balance and opportunity. Oh wow, I can do something with that extra day.
Okay, so it's interesting. I'll do that in a sec. So work-life balance. So we had an entrepreneur on our podcast on the 3rd episode, Dimitri Buterin, and super smart, very successful entrepreneur. I think 3-time tech founder, and his philosophy around work-life balance is that it doesn't exist, right? But he's a crazy entrepreneur, kind of like I am, right? I kind of feel the same way. So what's the concept that you guys have of work-life balance for your team? Because I'm still learning about what that means. Yeah, I could probably use some. And how are people taking advantage of their better balance now with their time off, and even how are you guys taking advantage of it? What are you doing with your time?
Yeah, good question.
For me, I'm happy for the time, the extra day, because as a working mother, we have responsibilities and also lots of time demands that sometimes it can feel burdensome at times. But what has happened is that my mother, she absolutely loves the concept. Because now she has taken, what she has done was adjust her time and fit it into my 4-day work week to suit her lifestyle. So for me, and then it just works where I get the time and I try to do something for myself also. Get a jump start probably on shows or whatever I want to do. But again, because it gives me time for myself. And I try, I absolutely don't do work. I try to do some me stuff or something with my teenage daughter or something like that. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's what I use my time for.
I'm jealous. How about you?
Yeah, I think, for me, it's been about being able to continue my education. That's been a big part of it. Just having a little bit more, just energy and the space to do, more. I know from a lot of from the surveys that I've collected and the feedback I've collected from our employees, it's really about, family time and relaxing and having just the time to go and do groceries and then for the weekend, Costco lines are a lot better, I think, on a Wednesday morning than they are on a Friday afternoon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, things like that you just get to do for yourself, whatever that is. I mean, the thing with Situra and what it ties into the work-life balance, it's your day.
Mhm.
And if you need to, the policy is nobody bothers you on your day. So I'm not calling you to ask for things. If you need to catch up on something, whatever, you need to do what you need to do. It's your day, but nobody's going to be bothering you. Nobody's calling you, right? So that to us is the work-life balance, is when there's no demands.
Right. It's like this extra time that you have in your schedule to do all the things you didn't have a chance to do. Could include work. Can it include work?
It's your day.
It's your day. If
It's
you
your
want
day.
to work, it's totally up to you.
I say
Okay.
take the time to do something that's good for you, and again, take a break, mental health, family time. I encourage that, but at the end of the day, it's your day.
Okay. So if people really love to work, they can't.
Oh, I mean, that's what.
Yes, you
lots
can,
of votes.
Very cool. Okay, so we have a question. How about for maintaining people within the organization? I mean, it's relatively new, so it's kind of early to talk about employee retention and how it affects that. But have you seen anything in terms of, or how do you feel it's going to affect employee retention?
I think
Is it a high turnover business?
No.
It's not. We don't have a problem with turnover actually, because one, we're a small company too. It's specialized and just a specialized business. So I mean, nothing there.
Nothing, no.
No, but I think if anything, it's going to help retain people.
Yeah.
Okay. These are all, I think we have a pretty big HR audience, right?
Yes.
They're very, very interested
course.
in hearing about how this could potentially affect.
Yeah.
And from who we push this out to, a lot of my contacts are from the healthcare space, and they're from some very large organizations. So could you see this working within, let's say, a large pharmaceutical or a large medical device organization? It's your business is quite unique in the fact that it's highly specialized, niche market, and relatively small. So how do you think this would scale out to a much larger organization?
Good question. I think that's what people are wondering. How does it translate? I do want to say Situra doesn't have a global presence. We do sell into Latin America. We sell into the US. It's our biggest market. We sell into Europe. Like we sell all over the world. So our clients are all over the world. So yes, we're a small team, but our audience and our customers, they're huge. So that's one thing. So we do have to make sure that we accommodate to that. With different industries, I think it's possible in every industry. I do think it's going to look different for every industry and every business. Things like healthcare, pharmaceutical. I'm not in that space, so I'm not going, without looking at a company and saying, okay, this is how many employees you have and this is what your needs are. I'm not going to say, well, this is how you should do it. I don't think there's a template that's like, do it just like Situra, maybe, right? Like there's, we look at your own, what you need in your company. But I do think it is possible for everyone.
Okay. Implementing this, maybe now you guys did a 3-month kind of trial with a small cohort because your entire business is relatively small. But what about recommending for organizations that are interested or really, seeing that this could provide a lot of value to their organizations? Would you recommend that they do it with a portion of the business? So maybe one particular function that's smaller, trial it, and then roll it out. Any risk to that?
I think the only risk that I would foresee, just again off the top of my head, I always wanted to make sure that it was fair to everybody across the board. I didn't want, your production or fabrication department, so we don't think of that. Like I don't want to qualify and disqualify people.
Sure.
So as long as it's fair, and maybe rotate that, maybe try it at one department at a time, one team at a time, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Sick days. How are sick days affected? And what was the second one? And what about personal days? Do you guys still give personal days on top of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Sick days, personal days.
Sick days, yes, you can still have your sick days, 2 days, and then you'll have a doctor's note. So that still works. And personal day, your day off is like your personal day. Whatever that day is, that is your personal day to do whatever you like.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't. So basically, you're saying that for sick day policy, it doesn't change at all.
No, that hasn't changed.
Right.
yet.
But with personal days, if there were personal days previously, 3 or 4 or 5, now they'll get 50 of them.
Well, it's the same. We are basically follow Ontario legislature on personal days, family days, sick days, bereavement leave, whatever that is. It's
Okay.
still part of our policy.
Mhm.
I think people just, I don't know, again, I'd have to like look at stat by stat, but I think people just don't really request personal day because they have that
because
day.
they know they
Yeah.
have that day.
So they have that space, so they don't need to have, and then they don't have that stress of figuring out if they can take that day and,
Right.
Schedule it and do I have to ask for it or I'm uncomfortable asking, because they know they have a day every week
Mhm.
that's theirs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but no, we're not taking away anything in terms of like you have family days and sick days if you need them, of
Mhm.
course. But people just don't really need
No.
it, I think.
Because I guess people already look at that one day as the personal day,
Right.
and you have it at least 4 times a week. I
Right.
mean, a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if people work the 5th day and keep doing it, can they claim overtime?
Well, because we have everybody on salary.
Yes.
Mhm.
We don't
And the length of the workday doesn't change, right? It's the 8 hours,
Mhm.
and we have no overtime.
Right. So there's no overtime.
There's no overtime.
Okay. What was the second one? Do you teach time management?
Do I teach time management like in a classroom?
I don't know. It's a question.
Well,
I promised I wouldn't throw any side bombs, but that wasn't from me. It was somebody out from the audience.
I implemented and I maintain transparency at the
Mhm.
company.
Mhm.
We have shared calendars.
Mhm.
We set expectations.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what I have one-to-ones bi-weekly with our employees. I
Mhm.
sit down with them and, get feedback. So it's, checking in, how's your workload? Are you managing? Are
Mhm.
you, what do you need? What do you need from me? Is there a problem? So, I mean, I check in with people
Mhm.
and, again, enforce transparency so that everybody's on the same page. And I
Mhm.
think, that contributes a lot to time management, I would hope.
Mhm.
And I think, like for instance, with me personally, when this whole 4-day work week started, what I personally did, I looked at my workflow
Mhm.
and I then created an improved workflow strategy because I had to make it work for me, because I know in the back of my head I have that day
Mhm.
that I want off and I don't want to work on that day.
Mhm.
So you have to learn to be efficient
Mhm.
and get stuff done
Mhm.
within the 4 days. To me, you have to become more efficient.
Right. It sounds like you're quite good at that. So I guess the question from the audience is, maybe not everybody is, or maybe not all employees are. So Sabrina, that might be a really good topic for us. Is there a way for people to kind of raise a hand in this, or clap or whatever? Sometimes they float up in the air. If there's yes, no clapping of hands. Okay. I think that would be very valuable for us for another episode as a time management expert, in terms of not only for the viewers who would watch, but also for things that could be taught amongst teams, particularly with now, right? It's just such a unique time in worker history or employment history.
Yeah, but I did find time management, and I mean, again, like we have reps in every U.S. state, and we we work a lot with the U.S. and they have different holiday schedules than we do, and there, we accommodate. There's always availability, right? There's always, enough time management to make sure that we're prepped and that we, meet
have
the
everything
deliveries.
ready.
Yeah, no matter what.
Very good. Oh, no more questions? Great. Okay, I can get to my slew down here. Hang on a sec. It's gone pretty well thus far without me looking at this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Here we go. Oh boy. Time management. Can you teach me? I'm double booked for like 1:30. Sabrina, you want to come take over?
Oh, yeah.
No? Okay, cool. Oh no. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, here's a good one kind of to wrap up or close to wrap up. So advice to companies that are thinking about the 4-day work week within their organizations, like where do they start?
I would say work backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your deliverables. Look at what you can compromise on. Look at your mission, vision, your values. And then kind of work back to say, okay, so to get that, I must keep this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's flexible, what's not, and work around it and trial and error and give it time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 3 points that I just gave there, but give it time to, to have that transition period,
Mm-hmm.
to tune up, to receive feedback from people. What else?
Yeah, because you did the survey, that was another way, right?
Yes, like checking in, doing surveys. You know,
Yeah.
the survey that I did 3 months after
Mhm.
is very different than the survey I got back 7 months after.
Here's a question. Would you be willing to share the survey that you had put out? Is it confidential? I'm saying just so we can kind of see the questions.
I didn't think anybody else would be looking at it. I don't know what to think about it.
Okay. Well, think about it. Maybe people would like to see that,
Yeah,
right?
probably. Why not?
I mean, I don't think there's, I think it's
Yeah.
pretty standard, but sure.
It's pretty standard.
Pretty standard survey. Are you happy?
I mean,
Yeah.
are you happy? That's the question.
I am happy. I'm very satisfied. Yes.
Okay, good. So I already asked the question. Oh, okay. Give an overview of your improved workflow management.
Overview of our improved workflow management.
Yeah, that sounds like serious HR
Yeah.
talk.
Wow.
Yep. So can that person who asked that question rephrase it in English?
Yeah, I'm just not sure what specifically you're, like, is it the product process of, from
Workflow. What?
I mean, our workflow process hasn't changed, right? We still have, client inquiries come in and our sales reps, provide information, and we still have drafting team that creates our layouts. We still go to fabrication. We still go to quoting. We ship. We will fabricate, ship. Like our process hasn't changed.
So I
Yeah.
guess the assumption is that for this to work, unless somebody has to learn a brand new skill or workflow management efficiency, which is what this person was asking about, is that really we're just shaving off that time that people are spending not being productive.
Mhm.
Is that what it all boils down to, do you
Yeah,
think?
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting people more excited to get their work done in the time that they have.
Mhm.
We're getting people to be more productive and happier at work
Mhm.
because they want to get it done and they're, motivated to get to their 3 days off.
Yeah.
And just shaving down is unnecessary. You have to sit at your desk because time.
I think people are more conscious too,
Mhm.
like of the time that they spend at the water cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
For
are
sure.
being more conscious because they know, okay, I have things I have to get done. I have to be productive.
Interesting.
Because remember, it's as a team you're doing it. One person slacking up, it affects the rest of the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
we have to work as a team.
So what advice would you give, just kind of to wrap, to business leaders, big companies or small companies who are interested in exploring this?
I think, again, just, give it time and try it out and work with your people, with your business, and be creative. I mean, it's your world, right? For somebody, maybe they do need to maintain 10-hour work days, and it's an improvement and it's more efficient. right? Whatever their situation may be. I think it's just really, be creative and be considerate of your situation.
Okay. If anyone has questions, do you mind if they connect with you on LinkedIn and maybe ask you questions about this? You may get a whole bunch of invites coming up.
Definitely.
Yeah? Okay. Good. So Karen had mentioned workflow strategy and her transition. Can you expand on that?
Yes.
Okay.
No, because for me, I found I was doing everything. I had to get more organized as to decide, okay, I'm going to do this at this particular time. It's like I set strict schedule that I followed for myself. Because I found, because now I had to become more efficient. So I decided, okay, if I'm going to do this on a Monday, I try to stick to that on a Monday regardless of what. And I wouldn't leave at the end until I get it accomplished. So I know I had to schedule myself before it was doing anything, anytime, like once I got stuff done. But then I put myself on the schedule. Yeah. So I became more organized I found once I became more organized and innovative, I became more successful at it. Now it's like clockwork.
Wow.
Yes. I come in on a Monday and I know what I'm getting done. Yeah.
Invoices.
Very
Pardon me?
good.
Invoices.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So I think, you've given us an extremely good overview of the impact that it's had for Situra and for your employees. In summary, no reduction in productivity or profitability, higher employee satisfaction.
Absolutely.
There was, maybe 3 months of implementation. Doesn't sound like a ton of additional work that you had to do to get this, and then what it's produced thus far has been highly valuable for your company.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it, viewers. Everyone should do a 4-day work week. What do you think? Any CEOs possibly shaking in their boots, right?
Once they have the productivity up
Yeah.
and the efficiency, it can happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 2 more questions. Okay, perfect. Let's do. We got time.
Ask away.
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer.
That's great. It is a super interesting topic, and also the concept around kind of the no vacation policy, right? Which is like you take what it is you need, kind of an alignment with that. How long will it take the world to come to this conclusion? Oh, wow. To implement, yeah. So that's a good question.
It's a good question. And I mean, I think one of the, I think it's always the 40-hour work week was also insane at one time, right? Until I think the Industrial Revolution, people were working in plans for,
It was 6 days a week. Huh?
Yeah, 6 days a week, like 10, 12-hour shifts,
12
and then somebody
shifts,
came along and said the 40-hour work week is what we need, right? And that was crazy then too.
But then to move from the 6 day to the 5 days, it became more innovative, more efficient. That's why it came down.
Right. And that's why it happened. Now it's a standard, right? So I think when people realize that you can get work done, can be efficient, and you can do it in 4 days, then I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
But
it's really about taking the leap, right? You got to throw yourself in the fire. You're going to get burned. You make mistakes, and then if it doesn't work for your organization, so what? You gave it a shot. But what's the worst that can happen? People will be happier.
Right?
Yeah, people will be happier. Maybe you reduce productivity, maybe for the trial period, but then you get back on the horse, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, yep. So how did you communicate the change to your customers? And, how did they take it initially until, and it sounds like, we did kind of cover that where you had said, well, the customers really don't know the difference because there's always someone available.
Well, that's the whole thing. Our customers, many of them are still unaware.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they're unaware that we have 4-day work week because the quality of a product hasn't changed. The support to them hasn't changed.
Right.
The support, the interaction, nothing has changed. Like we still continue to function efficiently and effectively in all departments, be it technical, sales, production, marketing, we still continue to function efficiently. So they're unaware of it. Some of them don't even know.
That's interesting. So you didn't find it necessary to contact the customers and tell them that, hey.
No,
okay,
because nothing has changed in their book, right?
Our priority is their satisfaction and our deliverables, and we've maintained that.
Okay. So let me ask them, if you've got, do you have inbound sales that come into your organization at all, ever?
Yeah.
Okay. And those will go to a sales representative. Now, what if it's the Wednesday that all of sales gets off and sales calls come in?
But no, sales is never off.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's always a salesperson available.
Yeah.
So, Jim in sales might be off on Monday, but that means that Becky's in.
Got it.
Right? And she knows. We don't have a Jim or a Becky.
Okay.
I don't know why I picked those names, but I'm just, example.
Yeah.
That, that's where the teamwork comes in, right? Because I really want Jim to have a great day off. I want him to have his Monday with his kids.
Yep.
So I make sure that I handle it, and I know that he's got my back on Friday.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any more last minute questions? No, we're good to go. Okay, look, we covered a lot of ground. Thank you so much, Klara and Karen, for joining us. And if there's any pitch that you want to do for the organization, I know you're hiring some technical people. Feel free. This is the time. You guys did a good. You did a good job. I mean, at the beginning, in terms of introducing the company and what it is you guys do. I can't thank you enough for coming out and sharing your wisdom and experience with the 4-day work week. Congrats on your success, and hopefully we have you back on the show another time. But thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.